by. Sorry, if anybody's wondering, I'm just saying that the stuff I have playing in the background is not playing loudly. No filter, though. No filter on our channel. We try. We try. We know that we have, you know, people with kids watching, but, you know, be free and express and not try. But that being said, that's a good segue. But yeah, I'll just do that from there later. So I don't want to make this too long because I was just upstairs. I don't really want to have to go upstairs for the charger. This thing drops kind of fast. I do have some other things I kind of want to do as well. Yeah, I can do that. But, just gonna put this over here. I just wanted to at least come and quickly say a little something and show a little ADHD in action. Just kidding. I mean, sometimes my focus is better than other times, and it's, you know, it is early, as I sometimes say, because sometimes it is, or it's late. But, 9:34, yeah. Yeah, so it would have been before 9:30, obviously. I'm just saying to myself for a moment when I was going to stop and let someone we know across the street know about a casting call. I told G, though, too, in case he sees her next. I think she is up early because she's a golfer. You know, a lot of golfers get up early to golf when the sun rises. It's a lovely thought when you think about it. I don't know how I can see this, but I just didn't because I read it on all the things. This is a new one. Just a moment. What I'm really just doing... Oh, thanks for the like. What I'm really just... Hi, Crystal. Good morning. How are you? Or good evening, I guess, there. Or afternoon, I suppose. I don't know. What time is it? What day is it? I believe it's Thursday. Feels like I'm getting you nice and early this morning. You know, that's the main thing. You know, I was going to look at... I know what you mean by that, by the way. I was going to look at somebody else who I follows chat to see... Because there's a couple people I'm familiar with there. And I think most people understand, and even my friend Maxie did, that, you know, when you're a YouTuber and you're, you know, believe in what you're doing, and maybe you're doing a podcast that takes a lot more than 2 minutes before somebody joins the chat and likes, and, you know, the goodness starts. Well, I mean, it sometimes starts before then too, but, you know, it's very tempting to want to... are you still there, Crystal? It doesn't look like it, but maybe it's just being wonky. To kind of say, oh, you should come check out my video, you know, whether it's that they requested another musician a song that you'd like to do, or the previous stated reason. Yeah, there's no theme there. He's doing a bit better, by the way, in case anybody's wondering. I was curious if anybody might ask. And maybe I should have given it a bit of time. And you know what? If they didn't hear me just say it now, and they didn't because there wasn't anybody here, unless Crystal was still here, I think you just came back. It could be somebody else. I'm not really sure. You know how to let me know. It's called a comment, right? Okay, so, but, and because I'm not sure if you're still here, I'm going to just look at this for a moment. The Bally Brothers is asking for Bella. Bally Bella? Bally Bella? I probably should plug this. 43, good golly. Well, I don't think this is going to be super long, but I don't know for sure. I mean, I have plans for tomorrow, but I probably will still have time to podcast. I don't know if I'm going to use those coupons, but, sorry that my eyes are darting in a certain way. I don't think... I've been looking every few seconds, so I don't think there's anybody here noticing it anyway. But yes, if I have to, I'll plug it in. Although, I think I'll probably still do it here. I mean, I really should be resting my back. I managed with the dog work, but my back and I've been having a cramp. I get this weird cramp sometimes when I get up in the middle of the night briefly. And if you lay on the sore side, it actually kind of disperses the difference in the sensation of laying on it instead. At least for me anyway, and it makes it not as sore. But once I got back to bed, I was fine, so that was good. But anywho, let me before we get to the 10-minute mark, let me kind of say what I was planning to say, and then we'll go from there. I'm kind of in the mode now to do this, but I'm also kind of still feeling slow, and I'm also kind of God, that's a thing. I'm also kind of, sort of still waking up, sort of kind of feeling like watching a couple of different podcasts. I'm not sure which one, and so I decided to do one instead. But yes, I just wanted to, there is kind of, well, you hear the dog barking, but I heard a squeak thing, and he doesn't have a squeaky toy at the moment. One, because I find them kind of annoying. Two, because he just doesn't. Those are sometimes the ones he's rough on. Keep hearing noises upstairs, so just a moment here. Okay, it's really just him barking. Probably something to do with, I don't know what. I was just looking though, because isn't that interesting? But it's not worth asking because I'm not really connected to those individuals anymore. I was just looking because I'd put a comment in this chat that is very active chat, and I see the name of the person that had commented. I'm sure it's there, I'm just not noticing it. Yeah, I want to focus on this. I might get my charger though, depending on, how long I go for. But I was just looking at this other chat, and I put a comment there, and I also just saw something else. Okay, there. Yeah, anyway, it's all good. I can't even remember what that Connor guy was speaking about, or what I said to him. Sometimes the memory is that short. It's a good thing I can look back at things on YouTube. Not that I expressed it, But anywho, what I just wanted to say, it's really quite diverse, and I recently did say, like I say, in a shorter one, so you can see that. But from a more of a community. I'll just have to look at this again later. More of a community standpoint. Then I'm going to have an interesting breakfast. More than just that lovely peanut butter cookie I had. I'm going to have some Swiss cheese with some hummus. That's the weird thing about that Swiss cheese. It doesn't have that. It's not very holy. I don't know why. But unlike myself, just kidding. But I'm not. I'm not. Huh. Crystal usually stays a bit longer. Maybe she got called down for dinner or something. Because it would be around that time. Her family might be having dinner. 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. No, maybe not. 3 or 4 o'clock. Everything's cool. Just wanted to say hi. Give it a like. I don't know. Anyway, I think I am going to get the charger though, because I'm finding that I'm taking a while to get to the point with this one. And yeah. Probably have to heat this up. And then it's hummus, cheese, and there was a third item, wasn't it? I thought so. Oh, a bit of mustard. Should be interesting. become an experience of it. I'm coming. Okay, we do have somebody there, so that's cool. Let me just, I just had to get my charger. And hear deep, lasting music in the morning and feeling any better, but if any of us, I should have said that you might briefly lose me when I plug it in, but it was so brief, it was like a second and they left. Sometimes that's just what a viewer does. Kind of weird when you think about it, but I understand that sometimes YouTube is showing you all kinds of interesting things that you're curious about, and you're like, I'll just put that to watch later. But then do you ever actually do so? Not trying to, question you or anything, but do you? Yeah, he didn't mind it, but if he saw it more than once, he's like, how often is he doing it though? And maybe you should do it too. Although I think he's pretty focused on the music. I don't even know. I'm not focused. So yeah, I think as much as I could multitask in this and let you all in on that, I think that I'm just going to kind of say my thing, say my spiel that I have on my mind at the moment, and then wrap her up, baby. Woo! Put a bow on it, wherever that bow went to. But first I'm going to have a piece of cheese with some garlic hummus. And where's that spoon I was using earlier? That's not it, but we have like a bunch of coffee spoons going on at the moment, so don't know why, just we do. Welcome, by the way. And then you're like, oh, but I'm hungry. What is he making after all? Because that's what I look like. A little bit of mustard, which is the new addition that I've never had on this before. But yeah, he's dancing to his loud music. It's actually some songs that I generated and wrote, but I haven't fully processed them yet. But sometimes he'll just zone out and do his fitness thing and not process them either. So some of them, I'd rather say this when there's somebody here though, so maybe I'll enjoy my creation. I don't know if you can hear my sniffing. And you're like, what are you sniffing anyway? I got some. Some people would say that probably. No, at the moment I'm just enjoying life. At this moment. It ebbs and flows. You know what it's like, right? You're living the life, aren't you? Like, no, I'm a bot. I'm control. I'm controlling bot. I want to have this with my coffee. And have it done before I have a sip. Oh, I do have a couple sips before I went out. Not bad. That hummus is very strong flavored. I don't really notice the mustard. Okay, that's breakfast taken care of. What kind of breakfast is that? Well, I also had a cookie. Anyway, I know that my back is prone. I mean, I know I can take remedies for it or whatever, but I know that my back is prone to being a bit sore right now, so I don't want to stand for too long. But it's also not good to sit for too long either, right? So it's a balancing act, I suppose. You know, but okay, let me get to it. Took me 15 minutes. I apologize. I don't want to say because Krista popped in and distract me. It's not like she was here long, and I appreciate her support and her chatting. But I'm sure she would have stayed longer if she could. So, but some people that don't know me and don't get the right vibe quick enough or whatever it is, couldn't use that excuse as far as I'm concerned, as far as I would say. Just quickly getting cloth here to wipe that off. Okay, and we're back. So, yes, what I want people to know, and I do think that it's obvious if you spent a bit of time on the channel, is that, or read my shirt, whether it reads normally or not on your screen, I don't know. I love podcasting in the shirt because I like what it says. It's a shirt that holds a bit of a memory to me that I feel mixed about, but I've mostly passed because I left the marmalade on the counter. Oh no, that's the weird one. I don't like it, but G does. I really want to sit down. I can just sense that I'm feeling not bad, but I can sense the ache kind of wanting to be there. It's that kind of morning. And then I also should be on this. I mean, he didn't ask to be on. I mean, because he was able to do it on the cell phone, really. He didn't ask to be on it at all this morning. Oh, goodness gracious. Reminds me of that thing the other day. So yes, I was going to mention that. I was kind of wanting to wait until there was somebody here. Got stuff falling off the couch. I accidentally I don't know how exactly, but the positioning of it, or maybe it was that thing I kicked with my toe. You might briefly, but say it at the moment, so I don't say it. Okay, and actually there's somebody here, so welcome. I haven't been rolling super long. Okay, this proper device thing, this easel thing, it's not the greatest. I will say that. It doesn't, it slides at the back, but the front part, I don't want to touch it now because I got it on there, but it seems like it doesn't have enough of a lip at the front, and it could easily slide off. I don't think I could tilt it back anymore. Maybe I could, but I have it plugged in. Anyway, somebody's like, you're just going to talk about your tripod or what? Well, although I did see somebody comment to somebody the other day. See, I want to have the laptop here. That their channel was all about things connected to cloud. And I thought, okay, maybe a semi-interesting topic, but really you could dedicate a... yeah, and it also feels like I'm far back and low down, but maybe, no, I think it looks alright. And of course I'm hiding behind the comments a little bit. But that's okay. They only go up so high and I'm happy to receive them. So even if they keep coming, they'll just kind of fade the other ones out of view, I believe. Kind of almost Middle Eastern, I would guess, but we got two of you here, and I want to get this across. It's taking me a bit of time. I keep getting distracted and such, but I want to get this across. So, like I say, you can. Okay, but yeah. At least it looks like it. And as far as that, I guess I'm kind of mixed. It's kind of want to cover up because the intro was so wild, sort of, that I'm worried. What are people going to think of it? And if they think I'm talking about this one, they're going to be like, what was wild about it? Well, let me tell you. No, I was just being artsy, creative, and minimal, what do you call it? Like just with what I had with me at the time. But anywho, so yes, I want to say, I have no clue what I was talking about. Like the person left, and it was that quick. Don't you think if you stayed a little bit longer, you might have an idea? Some people, they want to know things so fast, so instant. I understand that, in the digital age and this and that, it's the way that a lot of us operate, and I'm not going to say I don't, but, and it's a big but, just kidding, I like to feel like I'm understanding things, and So it makes sense to stick around until I do. You know, if I feel like feel like I might want to, but I'm not sure, you know, then it makes sense. Anywho, so, and that's, I guess, also a segue into what I'm wanting to speak about for a moment here. So, empathy and communication and understanding are very important things. I don't want to say a lot about it specifically, other than that I had an experience recently on here. I'm part of somebody's community, or was, and I still don't mind him. He understands that sometimes people are going through a hard time, and you know, have different ways of communicating, and you know, he's about keeping the peace, even though, and that's not meant to be mean. He you know, and he's about, you know, love and respect and kindness, as am I. I think those are paramount things that we should all be about. But just a moment. But sorry about that. I mean, we all wipe our nose sometimes, right? We all wipe our nose. That's where the person. I think they were here for a few minutes, but couldn't you have empathy? I had to wipe my nose, but yeah, I'm podcasting, so it's multitasking. No, anyway, it's embarrassing to say, although this is the other thing, and it is a strength that I mostly have. I would say if I have any blame in something, it's not nice to feel like you do, and to take blame. You know, it's not nice. It's not a good feeling to feel like, you know, you had a part in something, you know, that I guess went sour. But I am naturally a very social person. Although things have been a bit quieter aside from online and, you know, with G and, you know, sometimes walking around the neighborhood, you know, they've otherwise been a little bit quieter in life right now. And you know, some people will just kind of adjust and kind of revert to that instead. I am a very social person. I'm a friendly person. I like to engage and just like to talk with people. You know, that's just it's not that weird a trait, really. And there was a few people. I almost don't know if I should. I don't know what I should say, so I'm gonna do this slow, because that's how I'm doing it. Basically, and I'm not meaning to gossip or talk behind people's back. I'm just meaning to explain the situation, really. There was one that made a comment. I don't even remember what it was now. And I can't even remember how I got past it. And she actually told me about it. Kind of an interesting individual, although there was one aspect I wasn't sure about. And but I quickly got past it. And basically, and it was interesting because then I felt like I had a bit of a visit from a sister in G who told me, you know, just, you know, when she's stressed and she's, which could be any of us, but I think we should still try and be decent and civil to each other, even if we're going through a hard time in our life. But we did forgive each other in that, and there was others I was getting along with. I'm still quite annoyed. I mean, I guess she just doesn't have a good memory for it or whatever. I'm still quite annoyed. I did you know, sometimes we talk about mental health and we talk about going through struggles on this channel. And I did a very much of a there for you, care about you kind of thing. And sure, could look at it as, well, maybe you understand what it's like because you've been there. And so, you know, so you're just kind of speaking about how you understand that. And you know, or maybe you, I don't know, unfortunately, anytime you kind of, unless it's from a prevention method or whatever, but even then, anytime you mention the SUI word, unfortunately, there will be some people that think you're just trying to get attention. They'll think it about other things too sometimes, and that's not always right. That's not always right, and it wasn't. I remember that particular afternoon, I had something happen with the spouse that was stressing me out, and I happened to notice his live stream at the same time, so I said a certain something. It actually made for a very beautiful moment, which I spoke about on that day. I did a podcast, a very beautiful moment. And if Nenji sees this, like I wasn't intending for that to get deep either. I was just saying, you look happy. Sometimes I'm not, I mean, I think, the difference between sadness and depression and grief, they're all very similar, but there is differences. There is differences, and I would say that I do experience all of them, at times. And so, I just was saying that, and she kind of jumped in on it, and it was fine. It was fine. Like I say, it was another beautiful moment. I mean, he said just go for a brisk walk. Oh yes, I have to get these back on the thing. Just go for a brisk walk. Well, sometimes you don't want to be out and about amongst others, and out and about, and where would you walk yourself to, and that, like, it's, I understood he was trying to help, and it's not a bad suggestion necessarily, but I don't think it's a great one. It's just like when my one friend who plays music was playing music, he wasn't looking at the chat, and there was really just me and one other person actively chatting, and then he played a song choice, which I didn't think really, I would hope that if he'd been looking at the chat more carefully, he may have thought, maybe it's best that I don't play this song right now. Anywho, but yeah, later she said, oh, just take attention. And she said something else that I don't really want to get into, but it wasn't accurate. In a couple ways, it wasn't accurate. And then one other person was agreeing with her. I unfortunately had to get rid of one of our mods. So we have two right now. One of them doesn't come on very often, so I'm kind of looking for one, just so you know. Why did I get rid of him, you may be asking, just in case. Well, he did start off right off the hop, and I'd known him in my community for probably two months, maybe, about. He did start off by saying he's no good at being responsible. And I started to notice that. Sometimes it's a challenge, but it's not that hard of a thing to be. It's sunny out, but it was still dark in here for some reason. The plants and whatever else. Anyway, so he said that he wasn't very good at being responsible. He did seem pretty good at drinking quite often, though, even though sometimes he'd go a few days, and I don't want to say that I'm judging people who drink. As I sometimes say, in moderation, it can be okay. I don't think we need it to have a good time. I the need when you want to cope. But I've always been, well, not always, but for a long time I've been somewhat low income, and I'd rather eat and do other things to cope. Truth be told, I don't really like a lot of alcohol anyway, so it works out. But, he just seemed like, like I'd ask him sometimes, are you sober right now? And he'd say yes, and I'd mostly believe him. But he was rubbing me a weird way. Last couple times I saw him in the chat. So, I left that community, which this guy was posting every day. Like I say, he himself, he said, I understand if you're going through a hard time, it's okay if you're chatting with a few people. I wasn't trying to chat with everybody. I wasn't, I don't want to say it was an exaggeration. I just think that the way he expressed it in the moment, it kind of came across as if I was. Point of the matter being is, I believe in both occurrences, and there was probably about a month-ish in between. I believe that he did handle it well. I saw that, he was keeping it kind, and he was keeping it, I don't want to say professional, but maybe. It's YouTube. He's doing music. He's having a good time. That's pretty laid back. I suppose some people would probably say you can still be professional within that, but that means different things to different people, I think. If it means don't joke around, just be there doing the music, being like my other friend on here that, I don't know so much from that. Can't say this. Well, earlier, but where he says, "Let's go, guys," and it's like he's trying to focus on the music. I think he wants to chat, and he does a little bit, but he's really focused just on, he's focused more on the music. It's like let's play this song, and try to focus himself, and that's cool. That's cool if it works for him. But yeah, anyway, so it was just so I had to go kind of do some, I guess you'd call it preliminary things or whatever, and it felt so weird, and I don't want anybody to ever feel that on this channel. I don't want anybody to feel uncomfortable. I don't want anybody to feel like, like if I'm doing music and a moderator is not here, and somebody's saying something, and the person will be like, I'm already feeling uncomfortable. Too bad. Too late. And that might be feeling uncomfortable a little too easily. Or their phone died or something came up. It's good to remember these things. I mean, I mention them somewhat often, but it's a reminder for myself. It's a reminder for fellow creators. It is possible. It could be, personal. It might not be. Anyway, the point of the matter being is, yes, I don't want anyone to ever feel uncomfortable on this channel. I address comments as, I'm pretty good at addressing the comments. Like I say, if I'm in the middle of a song, I might have to wait till I'm done the song. Although, sometimes my ADHD and my curiosity get the better of me, and I interrupt the song and have to restart it 3 or 4 times. Or never finish it. But, yeah, so basically, I probably would handle things similarly to What's His Face, but I would not let people jump, Sure, maybe I do it sometimes, but I would try not to let people jump to conclusions about others to, therefore seem a little judgy. Conversation, slight disagreements are okay, I suppose, for the most part. But, it's not that anybody was, really nasty, but it was just very uncomfortable, and, I don't remember if he was his moderator or not. I don't think so. There was 1, 2... Right, okay. There was a newish one, and she seemed to be kind of doing the same method. It's not that I don't know. Anyway. Could have been because her partner misread something that I'd said. And it's like, hey, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I think her and there was somebody else chatting at the time, and I found that video. I think it was the Cultural Fusion one. Yeah. Anyway, so if there's anything you'd like me to talk about, now that I got that out of the way, and I'm going to bring this a little bit closer. But it's hard because of the charger. It doesn't want to... Okay. That's going to work very well. What's it charged at? Only 33. Sorry, I have to keep this ear charged. But I'm kind of in the mode, even though I'm kind of distracted. I kind of want to podcast right now, so hence I'm doing so. I kind of want to keep doing so right now, is what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm mixed. I feel like, I had to do the morning walk, which isn't what I usually do with Doug, because he was he's still, just coming out of being unwell. Yesterday was just the first day, actually. So, and it's very nice out. So actually, I'm planning to spend quite a bit of time outside today, and away from the Wi-Fi, because it's going to be winter soon. You know what I mean? So, if there's not much wind, sometimes I'm saying, oh, it looks like it'd be nice, but it looks so windy out, And that's one thing if you're driving to something. I don't have a lot to go to, and I mean, like I say, my back's been a bit sore, but I could take something for that. I did a very powerful video the other day where I mentioned these. I don't want to take too much of them. I also use the rub, which I might use. But I don't think G wants to go very far, if at all, away from home. And, I don't want to leave him, alone when he's not feeling well, and yet still might say, okay, well, since I'm not at work today, I should try and clean the place. Not that it's not good to have a clean place, but it's not that cluttered. And he might think that certain things are, trash, that, or like, you know, I had pasta in this bowl the other day. I probably will just have pasta in it again later today. You know, you know, so like it doesn't need to be put in the dishwasher, um, and you know, certain paper or whatever and that. I don't think he's noticed the thing, but you know, like I say, he was upstairs most of the day the other day and that. But yeah, so the number's been dancing around at the top a little bit, but there is a bit of activity, so that's another reason I want to keep rolling. Because I mean, again, I'll say it again because it's important, and so I'll say it. I think that we shouldn't go too much about the numbers, especially when they're low. Although sometimes they're not good. When they're low, we should decide whether it's content we ourselves are interested in. You know, not it has no likes and hardly any comments, which honestly are usually do. I don't always show afterwards. So I mean, he did mention something about asking people to go do his stuff. It didn't exactly sound like he was complaining. I think he was just saying he notices I do it often. And then Joe, the lucky kind of disappointed me anyway. And the other guy was like, it's just, yeah, it's, although, ironically, about his name, he was giving it to someone else he was quite comfortable with, although technically everybody. But I still haven't thought much about him, you know. Even though he's worked in media, he's done some movies and stuff. I have the opportunity, perhaps, to be in one soon. And have a way to it, regardless of where it is. Although, you know, sometimes they are very last minute in letting you know, because I'm going to let her neighbor know. And she, yeah, just on the way back. But most of them will buy it, but I could tell that one bunch was. But that's good. But anyway, I don't think anything about it. Unless I made it before. But anyway, so yeah, I might do that. Try, like I say, maybe that'll be what I go out and do. Yeah, because basically our neighbor plays a sport that's sort of unique. And this movie that they're going to be filming here features that sport. I don't know if she's ever been in one before. I'm kind of thinking not. But I don't know what she'd be like as a driver, though. I know that she doesn't, you know, driver would be where they see this on YouTube. She doesn't. I don't think she spends much time on YouTube. She keeps pretty busy. I don't know what she does outside of her sports. You know, I guess maybe some family stuff, but and you know, connecting with friends or whatever. But anyway, yeah. So she does this kind of unique sport, and they're looking for people of all levels that play it. So I could be the beginning level, which they call family. And I don't think I'd have to know how to skate, because it's not hockey, because that's not unique. But, right. I think that she could be a bit of a, I don't want to say aggressive driver, but easily frustrated driver. Some people don't drive very well, though, so it's easy to feel that way sometimes, though. But I think, like, you know, she's, I guess you could call a firecracker kind of personality, if that's the way to put it. But very nice lady. Still the same. Anywho, but I thought that, you know, even if it's not like, even if it's just scene work and it's not like super noisy stuff, or it's not an actual game, I thought it could get noisy. Like, I don't go to sporting events because of the crowds and the noise. I don't really even go to concerts when I'm a musician. You know, it's either small events or online. You know, so that being said, heart's coming in on this guy's chat. That being said, I was in a hockey movie once. I was in university at the time. I was still in my 20s. And what I remember the most is that there was actually somebody from a university class that I was in, just happened to be in it as well, and one of his friends, and we really gelled well with each other, and I felt like, okay, we just gave them a really great scene. More than once, like at least 2 or 3 times I felt that. I don't know if I ever found that movie. I mean, I haven't had cable, although I felt like maybe I would have then. Okay. Anyway, so I was very much focused on the bros I was sitting with there, and you know that we were doing so fabulous, in this scene, and I didn't, you know, it is a bit, with that kind of thing in movies, like, they want it to be real. Sorry, they want it to be real, but you can kind of, it's a little bit more subdued, I guess is what I would say, than an actual game. So I don't know what to think. I know that's a lot of the problem sometimes is the transportation. Sometimes it's not fitting the demographic they're looking for. So I'll just, I'm not going to talk about it anymore, though. I'll see if she's interested. If she's interested, I may look into it a bit more. And I guess we'll go from there. Because it's the 17th of the next month that I'm busy. Well, actually, but that's just, I think, the submission deadline anyway. I wonder if there'd be a way to find out. Of course there's a way. There's gotta be. To find out, like, I saw one thingamajig. I'm glad I realized what it was about, though. I thought it was about bullying. I saw one that, okay, the admin turned off the comments for it for some reason. I'm not sure what that means. Even if you're already signed up as a regular background, we appreciate you filling out this form too. What I'm not too fond of is there's nowhere to send questions if you have any. And I'm kind of thinking up a couple, so I don't know what this means. But I'm just going to send the one who made the post, who I'm kind of familiar with. Wow, has it really been 2 years? I think we've texted her since then. Anywho, and I guess we'll go from there. I mean, she posted this early, just a few days ago, so. Okay, that's enough about that until I know more. This is still pretty low charge. And feeling a bit congested and slowing down a bit, so maybe I'll just wrap this up. It's very hot in here. If you could take off that shirt, you always have it on. Maybe try not having it on. Oh, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. And you're like, no, I wasn't thinking that at all, actually. Oh, come on, not even just a little. Just kidding. Sorry, no filter, like I say. Just being silly. You're like, no, not just a little. Bye-bye. But, I don't know. I mean, how they decide whether someone is just being a little sensitive or a little bit uptight, or like how they, I guess somebody says a specific spot. But, anywho, so, yeah. So, I'm kind of at a slow spot now. I'm really thinking I might wrap up. I don't know. But yes, definitely want to try and get outside of it today. In fact, last night I did bring this out with me. But different reasons why I prefer that platform. But, live streaming isn't what it used to be on there, even though the people are more familiar. I mean, we do have a bit of a community on here, familiar people, and it's nice to meet new ones. But no, there's some reasons why YouTube is the preference, that's for sure. But it was about people that knew G personally, probably more than most of you do on here, especially these days. Like I say, now that it's a channel that we both use and he works so much. So. And I've been giving people some updates on his health situation, and so I just did it there. and I did it, when I went out for a walk before bed. Yeah, that doesn't light up. The dog and a couple other people around. But yeah, so basically, but it was kind of nice to do that. And I guess since he's home, although the closest to home, which since he's still a little bit under the weather and that probably wouldn't be going that far, the closest to home. I mean, I don't want to, right now, but either probably, because we try not to, because but it's not that scenic either. And then other people, when you're out amongst people and they see that you're podcasting, I mean, so many people do it, but so I mean, we shouldn't feel weird that Danny does it or anybody else for that matter. But I know G didn't say anything about that until I was like, well, maybe because he's walking around filming, you know. But anywho. I'm hesitant to do anything. But if he's got the phone, that's good. What we might do is a bit of photography. There might even still be some flowers still out. Because it's been fairly mild. Or just, I don't know. Yeah. Or maybe just a bike ride. But I don't think he's going to be up to it today with how he was feeling. And I'm not even sure if I am. Also, there was one or two things I wanted to get from the store, but tomorrow I have the hamper, and we did get a delivery recently. We just forgot to get a couple things. But yeah, I don't know if I really feel like that. But it's early, and like I say, it's not very windy and lovely, so I'd hate not to. So I guess we'll see. But what I should do is not just be looking for certain familiar names or whatever. In this one chat, what I should be doing is looking for people's song requests that they're giving him and maybe do them as well. But I'm not feeling hugely musical, to be honest. I'm not even really feeling that chatty still. So, doesn't that mean wrap up then? I don't know, does it? You're like, yeah. But somebody might be moments away from coming in and making it an extra lovely and great experience. They also might not be. Might not even be aware that this greatness is happening right now. Like, I want to watch something great, but I'm not finding anything. Well, they should have hit the notification bell. And that's just a healthy confidence in what I do, and who I am, really. I mean, I would say that some of my videos are better than others, better than others of mine, and I guess better than some other people's. But I would say that it's a fairly equal thing. Otherwise, algorithms or whatever can't tell somebody whether they're going to like something or not. But a lot of people think that it can. So in other words, if they land on here, they should think, okay, the algorithms are thinking I should see this. But then, I guess sometimes they maybe think, well, the algorithms are wrong. But sometimes it's accurate. Sometimes it's accurate and it makes sense. And other times it's like people are complex and diverse, and even if algorithms kind of realize that, they can't say what somebody's going to like or what they're going to want to watch on a certain given day. Only the person themselves can say. And even then, I don't think they know sometimes. I was kidding. But so anyway, I've rambled more than I intended to. and kind of surprisingly managed to do so without kind of getting too sleepy. Nothing else will go for a short walk, but I definitely want to be up to do that. And then, yeah. Anyway, I kind of think there's no point to keep rolling if, oh, look at that. It updated the browser and reviewed it and restarted, and it kept my queue. Too bad I dropped all of them already, although I might want to rewatch one of those. Oh, it also kept what I had here, even though it froze up all evening, and I was just distracted and using my other device and this and that. It even, oh, well, that's what I searched, I suppose, but anyway. Okay. Like, I think you just listen like this and stop talking. Keep doing that, that's what I do. Oh, it's even nicer out tomorrow. You might be at work, I might just say, okay, we're going to take, leave on Monday, take Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then go back on his favorite day, Monday. Have a week off. But when you're really sick, and one of those days was a holiday, but yeah, tomorrow is double digits in the pluses, which for here at this time of year is very rare. And don't anybody ask, because we're not telling you, but you're Edmonton. And then, it's almost in order. So there's still some nice days coming. But then how windy is it going to be? Because not super. So, yeah, by the way, I don't know much about Super Charter Leaderboard, but we get on it. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's been somewhat quiet. And, yeah. Yep. Even if it picked up, I don't know if I would feel energized by it with how I'm feeling right now. I'm just low energy, you know. I mean, it does happen. It does happen, you know, a great conversation and somebody suggesting fun songs. It can, you know, energize, like I say, but I don't know. I think today I just get more tired. So, no plans at the moment to do one later today. Guess we'll see. Tomorrow, whether he's back at work or not. I mean, I'm not going to spend all day out, but I might do a couple of errands. It wouldn't be looking very long. Oh, right. I have that other. Right. No, yeah. Okay. So I just thought of something that I want to take care of. But if you're planning to stick around, like to chat, I suppose I could multitask. I suppose if you really... No? Okay, get back. Take care, buddy.